Friggin' what up, dude? Strider Wilson, and I'm the host of this podcast that's mine. Gonna be called History is Dank. History is Dank with Strider Wilson. Dankness from the ground. Friggin' what up, dude? Welcome back to another friggin' hopefully dank episode of History is Friggin' Dank. If you're watching on YouTube, you might notice a dank new graphic. Shout out to Brian Stefanik, friggin' legend, made a dank graphic, dude. For those listening, it's just me posting up, dude. My face superimposed on Lady Liberty, dude. I'm just freaking just posting up, dude, you know, talking about history, and, you know, statues post up. So honestly, he took creative liberty, dude, to make that, and it honestly got me fired up and amped to see it. So it's freaking dank, dude. I get dank, freaking fired up on legit art, dude. I'll definitely be considering this art, so I'm fired up on that. And yeah, just stoked, dude. I'm also stoked because my GF and I went on a freaking dank did a little daycation. Nice little daycation. We've all heard of the staycation. We did a nice little daycation. Cruised out to Joshua Tree, dude. Beautiful. Never been there. Been to Palm Springs. Been to Indio. I've actually never been to Coachella, but I've been to the Coachella grounds for Stagecoach, which was tight, dude. I saw Garth Brooks from super, super far away. He looked like super tiny. It was really interesting seeing that perspective. But Garth puts on a show. But dude, God, you know, freaking God puts on a show with Joshua Tree. Beautiful rock formations. Very, very dank. Of course, the Joshua trees that they have, lots of cactuses, dude. I was just scoping lizards, dude. Just checking out freaking hawks, vultures, looking at petroglyphs, dude, freaking from 8,000 years ago, dude, from the natives of that area, dude. I'm blanking on the tribe name. I should have written it down, dude, but I did not, so I freaking lacked foresight, dude. But it's freaking so sick, dude, going there and just taking in some history and taking in some nature. And you could see why people might want to go out there and do shrooms. I mean, dude, you're literally out there, and I even thought about going out there and just crushing a nice IPA, you know, on the hike, you know, just really unwinding. But I didn't need it, dude. The views, the fresh air, that's nature's IPA, and it was nice. You know, I would say Joshua Tree equivalent to instead of a hazy 8%er, crystal clear 8%er. You know, pristine 8%er out there, taking in some nature, dude, walking on some rocks. And dude, there's people charging it, dude. There's people hopping up on big boulders, dude, cruising around, just freaking risking getting freaking James Franco'd out there, dude, 127 hour style. I'm like, nah, dude, my GF and I, we went up on a few rocks, but I wasn't about to hop over any crevices or anything like that. I'm soft. I've talked about this before. If I was, you know, existed, you know, 30,000 years ago, 8,000 years ago when those petroglyphs were made, I would get Darwined immediately, dude. I would freaking step on a twig. It would get infected. I would complain about it. I wear contact lenses. I am nearsighted. I wear glasses at night when I'm playing Call of Duty so I can get more hours in. It's not too harsh on my eyes. And I can't see. I would be gathering, and even then I wouldn't be able to scope good berries, dude. They got juniper berries out there in Joshua Tree, dude. They freaking make gin from juniper, dude. Maybe I'd be into gin and tonics, dude. You know, maybe that's what I would be drinking years and years ago. I don't know how I'd get the carbonation, but figure it out, dude. And I'm just saying, dude, I'd be soft. Like if I was a Viking, which I would love to be a Viking, or Spartan, dude. Like I couldn't be a Viking, dude. I get seasick. My GF and I went whale watching, dude. No chance, dude. I was out there, I was stoked to see a sperm whale, dude. I was laughing, making sperm jokes, you know, like a 12-year-old out there. And, you know, parents were overhearing me, dude. I was saying the whales were majestic. They were giving me dirty looks. My GF was like, what are you doing, dude? I'm like, I'm getting stoked, you know, but sometimes you got to keep it contained. But then I wasn't stoked, and I was freaking boking overboard, dude, 30 minutes in, dude. I went from stoked to boke. So just thinking about that, dude, I need my Wi-Fi. You know, if my GF and I do Joshua Tree again, we would get an Airbnb, you know, we'd glamp. That's how I'd have to do it. I'm sorry. It's just the truth. I'd have to glamp. But we did the day trip, dude, and it's every bit of 2.5 hour drive. There was no traffic because of the Q-teen. Flew out there, no traffic. It was great. Stopped by a boutique shop, dude. Picked up some dank dishware. Going to be very, very nice looking at our apartment. Going to be great for when we entertain guests. Going to be fantastic. Going to freaking put some, you know, my GF makes dank peach salsa. serve that up on one of those dishes, dude. I even said that when we were debating buying. I was like, put your dang peach salsa in there. You could definitely do that. My diff was like, it's a good call. Let's freaking get these things. Got them. So that was tight. And then, yeah, dude, flew back. So definitely not a trip you could do in a day under normal circumstances with SoCal traffic. But, you know, finding some silver lining during these times a little bit. And honestly, dude, talking about this being out in nature plays directly. One might say I crafted this into our historical share for the day, which is the Dyatlov Pass incident or mystery. Aaron, you ever heard of that? Dyatlov Pass incident?
No, I don't think so.
You hear I'm putting a little bit of a Russian flair on that? You hear that Russian flair?
Yeah.
Thank you. So this is, I think something you're going to get a little stoked on. This is a conspiratorial thing. This was suggested to me via email, so I'm fired up on that, dude. Fired up to learn about it. But the thing is, learning about it, still a mystery, dude. This is still unsolved. So I wanted to just, before we dive into that, the Dyatlov Pass incident, and I'm just having a lot of fun with that Russian name. That's the one I've practiced. There's going to be a lot of Russian names I butcher while doing this story, this historical share. But honestly, dude, I'm fluent in English and I butcher people's last names all the time, but I guess those aren't like English last names. I mean, maybe, all I'm saying is maybe the Russian dudes butcher each other's Russian names, you know, but maybe not. I don't know. I guess I'm getting defensive in advance for absolutely no reason. But what I want to do is freaking lay down some real actual, you know, tidbits of history that took place in 1959, which is when this Dyatlov Pass incident took place. So let's just get some hard facts in real quick. Not totally unrelated. What was going on in 1959 around the globe before we dive in? The U.S. recognized Fidel Castro's Cuban government for the first time in 1959. The 9th NBA All-Star game was played in the Olympia Stadium, Detroit, in Detroit, Michigan. Aaron, do you know who the MVP was of that by chance? This was in 1959. Who do you think was the MVP of the All-Star game between the East and the West? And I'm going to give you a hint right now. This was the first time ever it was a co-MVP. So one guy from the East, one guy from the West.
Ooh. So
this raises your chances of getting it right. But I never heard of the other guy, even though I probably should have. But you've definitely heard of one of these players.
59. Is that too early for Wilt Chamberlain?
I think it's a little early for Chamberlain.
Yeah.
But
Jerry West?
Okay, so West was there, but it wasn't West, but you're on the right team. You're on the right team. Who else?
I don't know.
Elgin Baylor.
There you go.
Minneapolis Lakers. And then Bob Pettit from the St. Louis Hawks. Pope John the 23rd proclaims Vatican II, which I honestly don't think that, maybe that wrapped up in 63 under John Paul II. Maybe John the 23rd died. I'm hazy. I don't know the answers to that. But anyway, dude, Vatican II was big reform. Masses were like in Latin before that, dude. Not accessible. February 3rd, the day the music died. Plane crash kills musicians Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, J.P. Richardson, and the pilot. J.P. Richardson and pilot. They don't name the pilot. Hawaii and Alaska become states. Mao Zedong resigns as chairman of the PRC, the People's Republic of China, after a disastrous failure of the Great Leap Forward. Great Leap Forward was an economic and social campaign led by Chinese Communist Party from 1958 to 62. Chairman Mao Zedong launched the campaign to reconstruct the country from an agrarian economy into communist society through the formation of people's communes. And he would do these 5-year plans, which the Soviet Union did too. They had tons of reform, and I guess this Great Leap Forward, I think, was like the second one. It didn't work out. This is wild for me to find out, and I do need to do a little more research on this, so I apologize if I'm making any claims, but Japanese Americans regained their citizenship on May 20th, 1959. I had no idea post-World War II that's how long Japanese Americans weren't Japanese Americans.
That is crazy.
That's nuts.
That's so long.
And I need to research this. I'm like, but that's what this was from a website like aroundtheworld.com. So I don't know.
Jackie Robinson had come into baseball and I think retired by then.
Yeah.
And Japanese citizens still aren't citizens. Wow.
It's nuts. That was very shocking for me to learn that. I was like, you would figure, I mean, they were placed in internment camps, which was wrong. They're just saying, oh, if you look a certain way, you're suspect right now. And then you'd figure there would still be, I mean, I guess you're doing that, you're denying people civil rights. They're not being treated like citizens. They made it official and then didn't make it unofficial until 1920 or 1959. Crazy. NBC uses cameras to show catchers' signals during Yankee Red Sox game, July 12th. Cheating in baseball, with the advent of the television era, it's like when the camera was invented, nude photos were taken a long time. They have, Japanese woodblock prints in Edo, Japan. A lot of them were nudity. And there's frescoes in Pompeii of nudity. So as soon as images are created, you got naked people going down. But I don't know why I went on that tangent, but I'm just saying they're the sides of the human nature that tap into our, I guess mammalian and natural senses, I guess reproductive, and then maybe cheating on the darker side of it.
I don't know. I feel like that could just be, that's the first time they had a lens that could zoom in that far.
Yeah, you're right.
For TV.
I think you're right. And they weren't cheating because it was just
12 years. So at that point.
But they're showing signals. These organizations there's probably a dude posting up in the clubhouse going, all right, and then relaying that up on a walkie-talkie. Very conspiratorial. Very conspiratorial of me. I mean, I don't know, maybe this...
I feel like they'd have better luck with binoculars at that time.
You're absolutely right.
It's not like there's a dude with an iPad.
There was probably... I'm just getting fired up.
Dick Tracy checking his watch.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, it's a fastball.
That's hilarious. Dude, maybe. I don't know. This Astro stuff, it's got me spun. It's got my head spinning in all different directions. But it was the Red Sox, too. He was the Red Sox manager. I don't know. Maybe I'm just hating on the Red Sox. And then finally, Nikita Khrushchev is denied access to Disneyland. I thought that was pretty hilarious and crazy and wild. Okay. So, taking my strange conspiratorial thoughts about baseball and camera lenses showing signals, let's get into the Dyatlov Pass incident. Here it is. I got a lot of this from an article of the Telegraph. And a lot of them, they all say basically the same things because a lot of the evidence is circumstantial and sort of, you'll see once I start reading about it. No one knows it doesn't really make any sense. It's pretty bonkers of what happened and how to make sense of it. And then we'll get into the theories, and we'll have a little bit of fun. So in 1959, the frozen bodies of a 9-member ski/hiking expedition that had gone missing weeks and weeks before in the northern Urals of the Soviet Union were found near their campsite on a mountain called Kholat Syakhl. So I'm gonna butcher names, which according to Russian sources means dead mountain in indigenous Mansi language. So this is writings on the I don't know if it's on the petroglyphs on the walls. But I don't know. I'm not taking a trip to a place called Dead Mountain. I knew a nice dude in high school named Joshua, even though he didn't invite me to his 5th grade party at Joe's Crab Shack. But I still went to Joshua Tree. But a place called Dead Mountain, no shot. No shot. Also, skiing and hiking. You pick an activity and you do it. I'm not hiking in the snow. Anyway, they probably didn't have too many chairlifts back then, so you had to do a little hiking and a ski if you were passionate about it. Also, this is Dead Mountains, the title of a book that covers this. If you're interested after hearing this dank episode, and you want to read more about it, Donnie Eicher wrote a book called Dead Mountain, and it's about these missing people. This expedition of 9 people is made up mostly of students and graduates from the Ural Polytechnic Institute a few hundred miles away. The team had set out on January 27th to reach another mountain about 7 miles away, Gora Otertin, which means don't go there in Mansi. So, yeah, going from Dead Mountain to don't go there. What's past dead? I don't know. I don't want to find out. You don't go there. Let's consult some Mansi people. Ask them some questions before you go on your trip, you know? This is like a concise Yelp review. If I've got a Yelp review called "Don't Go There," yep, I'm gonna click on that and figure out what's going on. You know, me and my Jeff are gonna try a new Russian restaurant or something, and I see a post called "Don't Go There." I'm gonna read about it. I'm gonna figure it out. You know, what's going on? Why not? Oh, it's because people die there, dude, for no reason or reasons unbeknownst in any logical sense. Also, it sounds like a title of a sassy self-help book. Don't go there. You know, you got to maybe throw an F-bomb in there if you want it to sell. I feel like that's the trend now. Honestly, the best self-help advice, write a self-help book. Gonna make some dough. People like these things. Maybe I got to, dude. Maybe freaking Joel Stokestein, dude's got to write a dank little Joel Osteen style book, dude. Freaking how to be the dankest, how to be the most legit version of yourself. Be a danker you. I think it's got legs. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. And after, apparently the 9 hikers and skiers were sidetracked by a snowstorm. They pitched a tent on the eastern slope of Kholat on the 2nd of February. That's the night they died. Apart from the fact that they froze to death, no one knows why. Police and military investigators charged with solving the case were baffled by what they found. The skiers' tent had been sliced open from the inside and hurriedly abandoned. Their belongings were still inside, but the skiers weren't. The placement and condition of their bodies, some found as far as 1.5 kilometers, that's almost a mile, from the tent and buried under 4 meters, that's 13 feet of snow, were very odd, to say the least. So let's get into a little bit of what the details were. Investigators found footprints in the snow of 8 or 9 people who were wearing socks, a single shoe, or were barefoot. The footsteps led toward a dense forest, but disappeared after 500 meters. The first 2 bodies of 2 men, barefoot and dressed only in their underclothes, were found at the edge of the forest near the remains of a fire. The next 3 bodies of Expedition Igor Dyatlov, who this incident's named after, they just chose his name. They're not saying he's the one responsible. It's just the leader. And another man and woman were found between the fire and the tent, suggesting they had been trying to return to the tent. Autopsies failed to find any evidence of foul play. An inquest concluded that all 5 had died of hypothermia. That's the official reason of death. They were out there, they froze. 2 months later, however, the partially dressed bodies of the other 4 members of the team were discovered in a forest ravine, not far from the first 2 bodies. They appeared to have suffered traumatic pressure or crushing injuries, and the tongue of one had been ripped out. Otherwise, there were no external injuries, but tests conducted on their bodies and clothing showed small traces of radiation. So, what's going on? Why are these people leaving their tents in the middle of the night? Why not stay in your tent? There wasn't any crazy storm. Temperatures were low. But it wasn't like a wild, insane blizzard. And if it was a blizzard, wouldn't you have just been bundled up and frozen to death in your tent, trying to bundle up and then tragically frozen? Why cut out of your tent in a rush? Why not use the zipper? Leaving with socks. So what's going on in the groups? The 2 groups are separated. Maybe one went out on a search party, and then one's tongue is ripped out. Interesting. The investigators concluded enigmatically that the skiers died because they encountered a natural force they were unable to overcome. That's the reason. Autopsy, it's hypothermia and freezing. A natural force they were unable to overcome. That's eerie. Public access to the site was banned for 3 years. The results of the investigation were classified. That's just sketchy. Now, I don't know what that exactly means, like public. I mean, I know you don't want any, Joe Schmo going out there stomping around. But, like, does that mean private investigators or experts weren't allowed to go there? Like, if you get credentials, I don't know. Why not let some people who are qualified go out there and take a look? Sketchy. And also, this is the Soviet Union. There's KGB. Tongues being ripped out. That's like mob style stuff. Maybe that sending a message. But who are you sending a message to in the middle of the wilderness? I don't know. In any case, what we have on our hands here is a surefire recipe, and this is, I'm quoting from the article, to whip up rumors and conspiracy theories. This is it. The conclusion was vague. The evidence was under lock and key. There were too many questions left unanswered. So now we get into some theories of what happened. And these theories are wild, to say the least. First one, UFOs, fireballs in the sky. Episode 11 of History is Dank, we're already venturing out into one thing. That's why I gave you some broad history up top, but we're going to have a little bit of fun with this episode. Okay, it's conspiratorial. It's maybe a little more My Favorite Murdery, which is the podcast my Jeff and I enjoy listening to on our drive out to Joshua Tree. So we're having a little fun. Maybe I was just inspired by that. It was reported by eyewitnesses in the northern Urals that they saw fast-moving balls of fire in the sky around the time of the Dyatlov Pass incident. It was suggested possibly that the Soviet missile rocket were being tested. That makes sense. You know, this is right before the space era. You know, they're testing V-2 rockets, ballistic missiles. You know, we're in the nuclear age here. You know, Cold War era. Excuse me. We encounter the earliest period. Okay. So they're saying that maybe these fireballs, when they exploded or just in their trail, elicited some sort of unspecified energy that directly caused the skiers' deaths. Maybe that's a, you know, based on like the radiation that was found on some of their clothing's theory, right? Let's see. There's another investigator, this dude, a former public prosecutor, Lev Ivanov. Fireball theory proposes that the reported sighting match up with the actual date of the incident, February 2nd. So that's a little bit wild. The assumption that has been challenged by another author, Russian mountaineer Evgeny Buyanov, who says he found no verifiable reports of unidentified flying objects in the Urals on those dates. So there was a dude out there just posting up, looking at the skies, not knowing what's going on. But there's this guy Ivanov who wrote that in 1990. But before that, UFOs was the main explanation. That or an avalanche or an animal attack. That sounds a human attack. But there's no evidence to say those things. I mean, you would say animal, like a bear, human attack, KGB attack. I mean, why would that happen? I'm thinking maybe a bear. I don't know if there's polar bears out there. This isn't the Arctic, but there's probably some other stuff. Maybe a freaking tiger, dude. I don't know. I don't know how far this place is exactly geographically from like Siberia, you know, where you get those big tigers. So you got UFOs. And now I'm talking about bears. And you guessed it, there's a Yeti hypothesis. And no, I'm not talking about eco-friendly CrossFit bros in their mugs, okay? I'm talking about their Yetis. I'm talking about abominable snowmen, stuff you see on the Matterhorn when you're at Disneyland, but not if you're freaking Khrushchev, you're not seeing that. So let's see. This is from a June 2014 Discovery Channel documentary called Russian Yeti, The Killer Lives. So this guy, American explorer Mike Libicki, reinvestigates the mystery known as the Dyatlov Pass incident. So following a trail of evidence, Mike finds proof that the hikers were not alone. A photograph taken by one of the hikers a day before they died suggests that they encounter a Yeti. This photo is just basically like every Sasquatch photo you've seen, but just it's like a blurred image in the distance of like the Yeti just crossing and just looking out, like just kind of posting up, like, you know, mid big step, just like, what up, dude? Just kind of giving that Yeti look, you know, like it's just going to continue or something. So, I mean, it's just that photo. So, yeah, I don't know if this has any legs, you know. But it has long been rumored that Yeti-like beasts inhabit the wilds of Siberia and the Ural Mountains to the west. Although, like everywhere else, these so-called hairy hominids have allegedly been sighted, no one has come forward with verifiable evidence of their existence. Nevertheless, that's what this Discovery Channel show is saying, and this dude, Mike Libicki. He's got a great quote where he goes, "When I found out one of the students was missing a tongue, immediately I knew this was not caused by an avalanche. Someone ripped out the tongue of this woman. Someone." Yeah, I mean, someone or something. I don't know. And it's interesting. And then I guess they did look more into it. And like, it's not like the tongue was like snatched out by two like dexterous fingers. Like there was a lot, like there was a big, Like the eye socket was concaved, and sorry for these gruesome details a little bit. Broken nose, broken jaw, and then part of the tongue's out. Bear could do that. A weapon could do that from a dude or something. So it's crazy. It's crazy. This next hypothesis is interesting to me. This was the most interesting one to me. The infrasound hypothesis. Okay? Infrasound. Oh, but going back to the Yetis real quick, I did want to mention this. I just saw a little note. The Mansi tribe that's there for a long, long time, it's called Don't Go There Mountain. Or no, it's Dead Mountain, and another one's called Don't Go There. So what's going on there? I think that's where a lot of these conspiracies come into play. Everything is, it's not concrete, but why are people saying this? Why are the locals saying don't go there? If you're coming to San Clemente and you're going to go to Pedro's Tacos, which is dank, it's over in San Juan Capistrano, I'm going to say, don't go there. Go to Las Golondrinas. It's better. It's very dank. Golondrina is Spanish for swallow, because the swallows would come back to San Juan Capistrano. So I would say, not because I'm saying Pedro Tacos is bad, I'm just saying Las Golondrinas is danker. So maybe they're not saying that place is bad. Maybe they're just saying, hey, dude, there's a danker mountain over there. Go there. Or, hey, that mountain, it's dead, dude. There's no parties there. We used to party there, but the party's over here at this other mountain now. That's why we call that mountain Dead Mountain, dude, because it's not going off. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's not as sinister as we think. Maybe, it's for more legit reasons, like partying, freaking dankness, and good eats. I don't know, dude. It's another conspiracy of my own. I just cooked up right there, dude. Anyway, dude, this infrasound hypothesis, interesting. This is from author Donnie Eicher, proposed in his 2013 book, Dead Mountain. Already mentioned that earlier. The skiers may have been driven to hysteria by infrasound waves caused by a weather phenomenon known as Karaman Vortex Street. So in simplest terms, a Karaman Vortex Street is an oscillating pattern that emerges when a fluid or gas, in this instance wind, flows around a subtly shaped object, in this instance a topographical feature, the mountain. When they occur on such a large scale, these wind patterns can theoretically generate very low frequency sound waves that have been blamed for harmful psychological and physiological symptoms in human beings. According to a 2001 review of the medical literature by the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences, such symptoms range from annoyance to fatigue to nausea. Eicher argues that just such a phenomenon may have occurred under extremely high wind conditions on Kholat Syakhl, that's the mountain, Dead Mountain, the night of the incident. The resulting bombardment of the skiers by infrasound waves induced severe panic and caused them to flee the safety of their tent and meet their deaths. I don't know. Dude. I mean, he's saying this mountain and this valley and this windstorm is sort of a Goldilocks condition for this infrasound event. I do know in Cuba, they do use, sound is menacing, and they use it in, I don't know if they used it in Waco, but they do use it as, a non-lethal tactic, for sieges and stuff like that. And I wanted to talk about this in a future episode, but, even at Guantanamo Bay, people that work there in Gitmo say that the Cuban government uses infrasound on a very low frequency to drive the employees there like nuts. And people have bet they'll throw up, they'll vomit. And if you even go to the official government website for going to Cuba, travel to Cuba, it's listed that people have just been known to become nauseous. If you're an American citizen traveling there, and you feel nauseous or your ears bother you, be aware of this. And it's of course unproven, but it's on the official government website. So sound can be menacing. Now, was this valley a Goldilocks condition for that? I don't know. There's also an avalanche hypothesis, but their bodies were covered under snow, but that could have been regular snowfall, and there was no large avalanche noted in the weather records. The campsite did drop down precipitously from negative 11 degrees Celsius to as low as negative 25 degrees Celsius. That's a lot. Fahrenheit, I don't have the conversion in front of me, but that's a lot. So it was cold. But then again, you're not leaving your tent. So it's sort of irrelevant. And winds were high. But why are you leaving the tents? Why? So it's interesting. And those are the main theories. Aaron, what do you think? Do you have a favorite theory? Do you have one of your own?
You know, it turns out I have heard of this. I just didn't know as a Dyatlov pass. But I thought when I heard it, it was possible that one or multiple people in the group was experiencing hypothermia, and that can make you do crazy shit, like take all your clothes off and go buck wild.
So these are the effects of hypothermia.
Yeah,
that makes sense, and they probably were all because the temperatures dropped so low. I could 100% see that being the case. You're not going to be thinking, and you're going to be in a state of panic, and maybe they're thinking, I need to get back to our cabin or get back to wherever we were, and I can make it, because if you're on the verge, if you're knocking on death's door, you're not going to be making the same decisions at the same rate that I would be sitting in this chair now. So that does make sense. I
also do love crypto hominid. So Yeti, I mean, that's super fun.
It's fun. It's
I love
interesting.
the idea that that's still out there somehow.
That's 2014. Discovery Channel. Maybe they're just trying to get some views. You know?
I mean, probably.
They're just getting views. Although that dude Mike, I love that dude Mike. I mean, when I heard the tongue was ripped out, I knew what it was. The Yeti. He's sipping out of a Yeti, dude. Maybe he's got stock in the Yeti coolers. Very nice. I mean, if you're going to go party at Dead Mountain, you bring a Yeti cooler, you pack that full of Coronas, you pack that full of some nice local frickin' Russian vodka. You're throwing yourself a party, dude. You're reawakening it, dude. You freaking wake up, Dead Mountain. Let's go, dude. But honestly, dude, my takeaway is you cruise out into nature, you get yourself an Airbnb. I know Airbnbs didn't exist in 1959 Soviet Russia, but guess what, dude? Get yourself a cabin, post up in there. It's nice and warm. It's toasty. I'm all about the glamping. You know, if you want to get a little bit of nature, you want to go outside, feel alive for a little bit, you step outside and negative, what was it, negative 11, then it dropped down to negative freaking even more. You step outside in that, it's enough cold for a little bit. You know, look up at some stars, get stoked on that. You know, be in touch, you know, do a little soul searching on a surface level. Then get back inside, get some Wi-Fi, and play some Call of Duty with your boys. That's how I'm doing it. Go in there and watch The Rock, you know? And then go outside and friggin' hike on a rock for a little bit or ski down one on some snow. That's what you got to do. That's my takeaway. That's my take. Call me soft, but you know what else you're going to call me? You're going to call me on my phone the next day because I'm going to be alive. I'm not going to be freaking have my tongue ripped out by a Yeti. I'll be talking to you, no problem. Telling you all about what happened the night before. Freaking watch The Rock. I'll explain it to you, dude. Dank movie, dude. Let's do a few questions. This one's going a little bit long, so let's just do a few. See. I'd just like to recommend you watch Avatar, The Last Airbender on Netflix. I think you would really like it. I'm Max, by the way. Yeah, dude. I've been hearing good things about this. Freaking sounds sick. I remember in college, I didn't know what Avatar was, and there was like a TV in our main little common dorm room area where we lived, and it was on, and I was like, this is a cartoon. And I know there was a basketball game on. I was like, oh, I'll catch the first quarter of this basketball game before I head out to volleyball practice later. Humble brag, dude. I played volleyball a little bit. UC San Diego, dude. What up, dude? I wasn't that good. I stopped playing after 2 years. But anyway, I was like, what are these cartoons, dude? Switched over to the game real quick, and this dude that was living in like one of the dorms down there comes bursting in through the door, Kramer style, with his tray from the cafeteria, dude, sits down on the couch expecting his show to be on. Like, you know, he missed the first few minutes of it, and he's fired up. And he just looks at me, and I look at him, and like, we haven't, like, you know, we don't have rapport yet. This is like the first week of school, and he's like, because he was totally stoked on watching that show, and I'm like, oh, were you watching that? And he's just like, yeah. I was like, oh, dude, yeah, I was just catching the game, and then put it back on. So I was just remembered that was my introduction to Avatar, and I was like, what is this freaking cartoon, dude? And it turns out it's pretty freaking dank. And Aaron, we talked about this, I think, on Going Deep, didn't we? A little bit, Avatar. And you're kind of stoked on it, aren't you?
No, I don't know. I don't think we have talked about it.
I'm blending all these things together,
Yeah.
dude.
I was always so confused with Avatar and then the movie Avatar. I was just like, what? Are they not related? What's happening?
Dude, yeah, they're not really. That's the M. Night Shyamalan one. That's horrendous, dude. I've watched that. That is not a good movie, dude. And it could have been sick. Could have been really sick. And but I think Avatar: The Last Airbender, I've heard that like they've got like a lot of progressive characters. They like make this one character very misogynistic in the beginning. And you're like, what the heck? But it's because, you know, the author of it's setting him up to, you know, learn a lesson that's not very heavy-handed and is, you know, sort of resonates with viewers. And so, yeah, I think it's kind of interesting in doing, you know, you'd think, oh, this is a cartoon, like I thought, but.
Well, I was talking about the James Cameron movie.
Oh, wait. Did Avatar? Oh, dude. Yeah, there's Avatar. Yeah. There's Avatar: The Last Airbender. And then there's Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is this cartoon, the original one. Or anime. I keep saying cartoon like a friggin' Yeti. And, yeah, dude. I actually liked Avatar, the James Cameron one. I thought it was pretty sick.
It's not bad, yeah.
It's Ferngully, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Dance with Wolves. Yeah.
Exactly right. Dance with Wolves, great soundtrack, dude. Costner, dude. Yeah. The dude, he can do a good job, dude. He does a good job. And that one, his buddy that he becomes natives with, who's standing on the cliff, he's like, I am your friend. My name is, I forget what his name, my name is blah, 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 and I'm your friend. Very, very moving scene, dude. Very, very dank. Okay, let's do one more. Dude, I like this chick and we've been seeing each other and it's going great, but I made out with a different girl at a party recently. I realize now that that's a mistake, but it made me realize that I really like this girl I'm seeing. What do I do? Remain anonymous. I think you do nothing, dude. Do nothing. If what I'm hearing is you're seeing this girl. You said seeing. You're not dating yet. And if you're seeing someone, that means this could lead to dating. And yeah, what you did, you know, was a thing, you know, you're partying, dude. You're going to mac and cheese a little bit when you're at a party, dude. So sue ya. You know what I mean? If you had a girlfriend, it's a different story. You can't be doing that, dude. That's bad. You got to let her know. You got to come clean. You got to respect her feelings. You got to respect her decision-making process and all that. But if you're seeing this girl and you're feeling guilt right now because you realize that you liked her, I don't think you really need to tell her. Maybe I'm a bad guy for saying that right now, but I'm like, I don't know. You're just seeing each other. I don't know how long you've been seeing each other. Maybe you really are dating, but both of you are uncomfortable with the title yet, and maybe that's where you are, and that's a little bit of a gray area, but I don't know. Aaron, what do you think?
I agree. If you're not exclusive, if you're still using the term seeing, I think you're still available.
Yeah. Now, if you're a dirtbag guy and you don't want to say you're dating, and it doesn't sound like you're a dirtbag guy, and you're like, dude, we're just seeing each other, like as an excuse when you're clearly obviously dating, that's a different story. But that doesn't sound like this is the story here. It just sounds like you did a little mac and cheese, and that's fine, dude. You probably had a few sipping down a few BL smooths, dude, playing on the pong table. Maybe you had a few jokes go your way, and boom, next thing you know, you're macking and cheesing. That's all right, dude. But yeah. And you learned a good lesson out of it. You like this, and hopefully you guys can end up becoming freaking BF and GF, and that'd be fire. All right. That's freaking dank, dude. That's the ep. Aaron, thank you for the insight. The hypothermia was huge. That was big. Coming in right there with that. Throwing some logic at this here. And yeah, dude, fired up. Freaking stay stoked. Looking forward to another ep of History is Dank. And email me with any questions or anything. Any history-related questions, any freaking, if you got questions about your GF, dude, let me know, dude. Got a question about interior decor, I'm there. And, yeah, freaking fired up, dude. So, StriderWilsonTreads@gmail.com and freaking stay stoked, dude. Freaking lay, dude.